Gladys West. Who is Gladys West? You may have seen the movie Hidden Figures, and she was represented in that movie. Gladys West is the woman behind GPS. So again, when people have these conversations, what have African Americans contributed to modern day society, you share something like this video. So Gladys West, humble beginnings, born in 1930, she's 91 today. Basically, this is a woman who grew up on a farm, so her family was making money. They were putting money away for her to go to college, but financial obligations just kind of came about, and basically the money that was supposed to be for her college fund was spent. That's fine. She's a stellar student. So one of her teachers mentions the fact that Virginia State is going to give away two academic scholarships for college for, these 4.0 students. And she decided that that was her chance, and it was. She had the grades, she had the academic prowess, and that is how she ended up having her tuition paid. Now, she did end up having to take a job because, again, tuition was covered, room and board was not. So one of her mathematics teachers gave her or employed her as a babysitter. So Gladys West majored in mathematics because it was something respectable. And she just wanted to have a respectable position. And I think that is so amazing that somebody can just choose mathematics because, honey, I can't. Honey, I cannot. So she goes to grad school and gets a graduate degree in mathematics. And she just as late as 2000 finished up a PhD. So this is a woman who is, remember when I was talking about Mark Dean and how these computers were these huge machines? Like, I remember even when I was a kid in the 90s, a floppy disk was the size of my hand. A floppy disk, because now we have a flash drive or a thumb drive, it's like the size of, it's small, like your thumb. These computers were huge, and so she would program them, and she would do the coding for them, and she taught people how to do that. Right? So she worked on, there was a project that proved that Pluto was more regular in its orbit than Neptune. And she was the lead on that. So because of this work that she did, with proving the positioning in the orbit of Pluto, we were able to get this global positioning system that we call GPS, right? This is her brain, this is her coding, this is her programming before we even knew anything about these kind of jobs or that this kind of thing existed, right? Again, this woman was born in 1930. So she's so humble. She actually, she suffered for such a long time from low self-esteem because, again, Plessy versus Ferguson, separate but equal accommodations, right? Equal, right? Those colored water fountains were horrible. The colored bathrooms were horrible. Colored movie theaters were horrible. Everything that was designated for African Americans was of a lesser quality than that which was designated for whites. So when you live in a society like that, it really is a mind affecting experience. So many African Americans had low self-esteem. They had just come out of slavery, then black coats, then Jim Crow, and she was obviously able to live through the time of the 60s and the civil rights movements and things like this. So she's an AKA. She belongs to Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. One of our most famous AKAs right now is Melody Holt from Love and Marriage, Huntsville, right? So it may be a sorority you're a bit more familiar with when it comes to African American sororities as opposed to something else. For some reason, AKAs are just more well known. Fun fact, Betty Shabazz was Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, as is the franchise favorite, Kimmy. I don't know why I'm talking about this. Okay, anyhow. So the franchise favorite of Love and Marriage, Huntsville. The crowd favorite. Anyhow, so she writes back to the AKAs about what she had been doing on these naval bases within for NASA, and their minds were blown. And she was just like, I didn't think that I was, and they're just kind of like, sis, do you know what you just did? Do you know what we have because of you? And she's just like, it was writing back to her chapter about her contribution. She was also the lead on a project called Seasat, which is basically the first satellite capable of monitoring all of the oceans, right? She's the lead. She's teaching people, guiding people on how to do this, how to create the programming and the coding in order to create a system where we can monitor every single ocean. So when we say global positioning systems, obviously we mean it, right? Because your Amazon driver, maybe you, Uber, Lyft, whoever, we're all using GPS. So every single day when we're trying not to get lost, we're using the guidance of an African American woman born in Virginia, Dinwiddie, Virginia. Gladys West.
Chocolate. It's either chocolate or it ain't. It's either chocolate or it ain't.